What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix-land? This, once again, is Scott Porter back for day 2 of our brand new WizKids DC HeroClix set unboxing series for the brand new set, DC Notorious. Oh, man. Day 1 saw a bunch of different villains and sometimes heroes, ranging from comics to television series. We had a lot of Harley Quinn, the animated series figures yesterday. We've got Batman rogues, we've got Superman rogues, we've got King Shark, so some Suicide Squad in there. We've got the League Assassins, the Talon Assassins, so we've got some generics already starting to show up. We pulled 2 super rares yesterday. One of them was Frank the Plant, and one of them was King Shark. So I can't wait to see how far down this villainous rabbit hole the set will take us today. Now, I said yesterday, over 80 figures. I think there are 83, if I'm not mistaken, 83 figures in this set. And I got to tell you guys, there are 19 super rares. There are 19 super rares in this set. I don't even know how we get to that number. When it says on the front, mega size set, they're not kidding. It is chock full of evil. So based off of yesterday, some of the stuff that we opened, we looked at the outside of the box. Go back and read Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness's run, or eventually became Jeff Loeb and Aspen and Michael Turner on art. There's some really cool stuff in there, including a story arc that I think is called Absolute Power that dealt with this Lightning Lord over here. Really, really cool storyline with a bunch of different alternate timeline versions of some of our favorite characters, heroes and villains. Now, I don't think we'll get any of the heroes in this set, but hopefully we do get that Superman and Batman. That would be awesome. If we have one of their fathers in this set, maybe we'll get them. Whether it's Forever Evil, or it is Villains United, Lex Luthor, front and center on those 2 storylines. I may have misspoke yesterday. Sometimes I get these villainous storylines and all of the crazy reboots that DC has had over the years mixed up in my head. But, Villains United coming out of the other side of like Identity Crisis and, Forever Evil coming out of the New 52. Those 2 books are really, really cool and really great reads if you love DC villains. I'd also go and read some alternate universe stuff, some Elseworlds stuff like Deceased. We already know we're going to be getting Deceased chases. Blackest Night is something you want to go and take a look at. Just based on the outside of the boxes here, seeing the Black Hand and stuff. I would be willing to bet that we're going to have some of that awesome Blackest Night kind of stuff in this set. That being said, we're just going to get cracking into this today. The set releases on September 20th, with the pre-release happening on September the 6th. So if you want to get these pieces into your hands as quickly as possible, call your local gaming stores and local comic shops and get into that. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have today. Yesterday we pulled the awesome Mr. Freeze from the outside of the box, but man, I really want some Flash Rogues. I want villains from every walk of DC in this set. When we're getting over 80 figures, I just want some of everything. I don't know about you guys. Let's see here though. Okay, first booster. We have, oh yes, from like the old 60s Batman television show. That's what it looks like to me. We've got a Goon. We have a Polar Bear. Sure, I love it. Are we gonna get some penguins too? Why not? We have a Batman. All right. Batman has Batman and JLA team abilities. So, we've got Riddler. But Riddler in one of those old school kind of looks, actually. And then, all right. Lincoln March come into play. I said yesterday, well, I think we've got Talon guaranteed because we had a Court of Owls assassin, but Lincoln March also fits into the Court of Owls theme. So maybe not going to get Talon. Maybe this will beat our Court of Owls figure here. All right, I'm going to scoot these guys back. We'll take a closer look at some of them. I think we have to do it. We've got to look at the 60s Batman Goon first here. I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. Like that little, the beanie or the bowler cap. You've got the little mask. Yeah. Just such a classic little look. Goon, Goon. Oh, yeah. Oh, what did that acronym stand for? Oh no, I'm going to have to try and remember. Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld, and Brute keywords. Expendable Goon. When GOON is KO'd by an opposing character after resolutions, you may roll a D6. On a roll of 3 to 6, generate a character with an expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent to a friendly character. Okay, it comes in at 50 or 15 points. I don't know if I'm paying 50 points for this guy necessarily, but if you get 15-point goons on the board and they're constantly spawning more 15-point goons, I don't know, a little plasticity, a little poison, some willpower. You've got a little empower on the back there as well. You've got Batman Enemy and Underworld team abilities, so 2 different team abilities. And Batman Enemy coming into play could be a big deal. 11 attack on the 50-point dial on the front side, 10 attack there, but you're going to need to pump that up just a little bit, and Batman Enemy really helps you to do that. I do like the plasticity on these guys, tying other bigger, stronger pieces up and making them have to deal with these little guys is super important. So yeah, there we go. Man, the fact that you can spawn more of these 15-point guys, I don't know about you. I'm going to be wanting to keep every single one of these that I pull. I'm going to want a little army of them. And the fact that it looks like it's a shared trait, I mean, are we going to get goons from different... Is this the only goon? Is this like a catch-all goon for all of the characters that would use them in DC? Or are we going to get like other specific goons? Let's take a look at... another man with a bowler hat. Why not? Let's take a look at the Riddler here. All right. Classic old costume there. Green and purple, just like I said, signals a villain 100%. Got the question mark cane there that he's got draped over his shoulder. The Riddler, Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld, Legion of Doom, Detective keywords. Set number 20. Riddle me this. Adjacent friendly characters have safeguard, opposing probability control. All right. If you weren't the first player, opposing characters within range have safeguard friendly probability control. What? He can shut down your probability control. Oh, yes. Oh, man, that is a big deal to me. But you can't be the first player. So how often? Oh, I don't know. That's cool, though. 35 points or 50 points. But the fact that you can shut down your opponent's probability control on their turn is pretty great. Or just period, that's pretty awesome. On the back, we've got a special damage power, a real stumper. Outwit. When the Riddler uses it to target an opposing character that was targeted by Perplex since your last turn, after resolutions, deal that character 1 damage. Okay, so a little synergy there with who? Who are you also getting the Perplex on? Still, anyway, the fact that you can do damage with an outwit, it's always good to get some damage with a free action. Might be having to jump through some hoops to get it done, but the significant appearance, Batman, run, Riddler, run. Yes, this is actually a pretty cool story. Now, I gotta say, the art in that story I didn't love, but it is a very, very cool Riddler tale. If you like the Riddler and all like the fun stuff in the Riddler. Now, listen, just recently I've read the One Bad Day run that DC just did for like prestige one-shot comics for a bunch of the different rogues in Batman's gallery. The Riddler one is terrifying. And I didn't know, like, once we pulled the Riddler, of course, I looked at this costume here, and I went, no, I don't think that this is going to be that guy. But this one just looks a little too goofy for that. But, man, the Riddler in that, if you have not read Riddler One Bad Day, he is terrifying. He has decided, no one will ever touch me again. No one will threaten me again. I know everything about everyone, and I am not afraid to murder your entire family. So just let me be. I'm not going to ask questions that people don't know the answers to anymore. I am going to give you the answer. Leave me alone, basically. And it is it's so scary. But that run Riddler 1 it's from the early 90s. it stuck with me for a long time. It really actually made me love the Riddler. The art style is not for everyone, I have to tell you. Like, everyone's got giant noses, everybody's super caricature-y. But that being said, the Riddler in that story is fantastic. It's a buddy cop team-up thing, or buddy detective team-up thing between the Riddler and Batman. And he is just up to his kooky trips. You know, he's setting complex traps up. He's asking a bunch of questions that are not too complex, but silly riddles that not everybody always has the answer to. And yeah, it's worth going to find. I think it's only 3 or 4 issues. Like I said, be warned, art style's not for everybody, but Run, Riddler, Run. The fact that they went with that for this Riddler tells me a lot about where their headspace was on who they wanted that Riddler to be, because that is a pretty cool Riddler story. If you haven't read it, go find it. Okay, why do we have a polar bear? I don't know. Let's find out. Look at that thing. Ah, that's so cool. I love that we're getting a polar bear. Arkham Asylum, Brute, Gotham City, Underworld, and Animal. Set number 11, Expendable Goon. Notchka and Shaka, yes, those are Mr. Freeze's polar bears. Oh, that's so cool. All right, when Polar Bear is KO'd by an opposing character after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, generate an ice-blocking terrain marker in the square Polar Bear last occupied. Okay. This game, that marker has adjacent characters must roll for breakaway if they don't already need to, which we saw on yesterday's Mr. Freeze. Very, very cool. That Mr. Freeze with that really cool sculpt. On a roll of 4 to 6, generate a character with an expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent to a friendly character. Whoa, okay, so if you lose a GOON goon that we just looked at, you could choose to bring, if you roll high enough, you could choose to bring a polar bear in its place. That's a really cool kind of switch clicks kind of mechanic thing. That's pretty cool. And they're popping onto the board on a 15-point starting line. So you're getting some charge and you're getting some quake with these polar bears. Very cool. On the back, you can see the Batman enemy team ability. Batman and Robin Adventures Sub-Zero. Yes, very cool. That's really cool. This is so exciting. We got Mr. Freeze's polar bears. I don't know why I didn't put that together. But I mean, you can have more than Mr. Freeze's, but Notchka and Sasha, that's so cool. Okay, super excited about that. I'm going to set him over here. He's much larger than his human, but yeah, let's put the polar bear next to their human there. All right, Batman we'll take a look at next. And let's see, good version of Batman or bad version of Batman? Batman family, Gotham City, Legion of Supervillains, detective, future, martial artist, past, and ruler. Yeah, I think we know exactly what this Batman is. Absolute power, Batman. Oh, I knew it. As soon as I saw Lightning Lord, I knew it. I knew they were pulling from that story. 7 clicks long. Has a trait, Absolute Power Batman. When Batman attacks opposing characters that have the team ability chosen for Justice League of America, can't use shape change or super senses. So you notice the trait is giving him the ability to have a leg up on JLA members, and that is for a very big reason. Oh, interesting. That's it, though. Just the one trait. I expected some other things to be happening here, because what happens in Absolute Power for Batman and Superman is they end up killing all the rest of the superheroes basically on the planet. Anybody who doesn't fall in line with their rule, all of the laws they put in place. I mean, instead of the Statue of Liberty, you know, you've got like back-to-back Batman and Superman like standing up, you know, outside of Metropolis. I mean, basically there's these huge statues everywhere, and it's a world of order. And there is no chaos. There is no vigilantism. There are no heroics outside of what is sanctioned by Batman and Superman and their parents. They have 2 fathers, Cosmic King and Lightning Lord, and one mother, Saturn Queen, who raised them. And they are the strong arm of the law. Like, one of the first scenes in that series, they obliterate Green Lantern. He is out there doing superheroics on his own. Somebody says, look up in the sky. He says, I hate when people say that, because he knows immediately that means Superman and Batman are there. That being said, the Wonder Woman in that particular story, she remembers what the world should actually be like. And she goes and finds Uncle Sam. She goes and finds a Green Lantern battery. She finds Abin Sur's body. You see, Lightning Lord and Cosmic King and Saturn Queen, they stopped any of the Justice League from evolving. The Age of Heroes never happens in DC in absolute power, and it's because of them murdering all of the people that would make up the original Justice League, with the exception of Superman and Batman. There's a really cool scene, though, where Superman is about to die, and Batman uses a spell that you would see Zatanna deliver, the backwards writing, and it saves Superman's life. And he says all of the information that witch gave us before we cut her head off really has come in handy. So that Batman knows magic. That Batman from Absolute Power knows so much more. So I hope that we get maybe another Batman that has even more expanded powers. But basically, they get caught in this loop where if a Superman or a Batman, if either of them die, the timeline completely resets and warps. And so you go through all of these different timelines. One has Jonah Hex and all of the old Western characters in modern times as kind of the sheriffs and deputies of, this crazy metropolis. There's a lot of really cool stuff in Absolute Power. If you haven't read it, go read it. But I hope we get another version of Batman that maybe has a little more to him. And the Superman is awesome too. He is not scared at all to take a life, and it makes him so deadly scary. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to go with a rival of Batman's in Gotham City, in Lincoln March. He was a mayoral candidate. He drops a huge bomb at the end of the first storyline that you see him with Batman in, but we'll get to that in a second. Lincoln March has Court of Owls, Gotham City Underworld Assassin Politician, set number 38, has the target. Okay. More of this shared trait for assassins. We haven't seen it today, so I'll read it. At the beginning of the game, for all friendly characters with this trait, give a target token to an opposing character. For all characters with this trait, when a friendly character with the assassin's keyword KOs an opposing character with a target token, score 25 victory points. Now, the way I'm reading that, I think it means that all assassins have to pick the same target, but it could be that they all get to pick separate targets. And if that is the case, man, that's really scary. If you're rocking a bunch of assassins, you could pull some KOs off of the actual targeted figures. I mean, getting 25 points outside of your opposing player's team build is huge in this game. 8 clicks long there. Has some hypersonic speed on the front. On the back, the next mayor of Gotham City, leadership, mastermind. When Lincoln March uses leadership and succeeds, you may instead generate, oh, yes, a Notorious set number 6, Court of Owls Assassin on click number 3. Politics is a nasty business. Exploit weakness and outwit. Has 2 team abilities, an Underworld and Batman enemy. Very, very cool. Lincoln March does a lot more than I expected him to. Lincoln March in the books is really interesting because if you didn't follow Batman throughout the whole Court of Owls saga, if you don't know exactly who these people are, they are the richest of the socialites, the aristocracy of Gotham City. They've been around for a very long time, and they pull the strings. And there's a lot of political intrigue, and there's a lot of historical intrigue into Batman's past and why he is who he is, where he is, things with his parents, secrets, deep, 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 dark secrets. And one of them is that Lincoln March believes that he is Thomas Wayne Jr. Now, Thomas Wayne Jr. in Earth 2 is the crime syndicate of America's Owlman. So this guy is kind of like, the mainstream DC stories kind of, allegory to that, so kind of Owlman, the Court of Owls, Owlman, Thomas Wayne Jr. Lincoln March believes that, the story goes when Bruce Wayne was 3, his mother was pregnant. She got in a huge car accident, and it was said that she had a miscarriage. But the secrets come out in Lincoln March's story, as he tells Batman. He was actually born early. He was paralyzed because he was paralytic when he was growing up. and then regained the ability to walk as he was, inducted into the Court of Owls and giving all these different enhancements. But he does believe that he is actually the son of the Waynes. He believes that he is Bruce Wayne's brother. A huge bomb that was dropped. That entire run, so cool. Loved all the Court of Owls stuff. Go back, give it a read. Okay, second booster for the day. Remember, guys, this is our second day of videos. If you missed the first one and you've been with us this long, I mean, you might as well finish the second one, but the first one's waiting for you there. You can pause the video, go back and watch the first day and see what fun we pulled. And speaking of fun to pull, oh my gosh, I did not expect this guy in this set. First of all, I did expect this guy. We've got Necron. We've got DC's pure embodiment of darkness, the whole reason that Blackest Night happens in the first place. If you haven't read Blackest Night, just go back and give it a read. You know, the War of Light, the Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night, all that stuff Jeff Johns just couldn't miss for a while. Here we go. We've got a Sinestro, speaking of Sinestro Corps, but that Sinestro looks like, is that Super Friends Sinestro? What? Not what I expected at all, but a cohort of Sinestros. And this sculpt is really cool. The Accordion Thunderer there. Of course, you've seen the Thunders in a couple of massive major storylines. We'll get into which ones in just a moment. Okay, we've got a Black Manta Goon. Interesting. And then last but not least, the thing that I said was fun to pull. I did not expect Kite Man to be in this set. Yeah, let's go with that. Why not? All right, let's see. Where do we want to start? I mean, I think we just start with the goons first. This is a pretty crazy pack. I'm super excited. Oh, and Kite Man's a super rare. Oh, okay, so we've pulled our third super rare. We're only on day 2. In day 1, we opened 2 super rares in the same booster. I don't know if that's going to be a thing in this set. I have no clue at all. But that was a thing yesterday. So, I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully that happens out there. That is pretty cool. Let's look at this Black Manta Goon first. I love he's got his big flippers on. He's got his little flare light there. Injustice League, Legion of Doom, Secret Society of Supervillains, Brute, and Pirate keywords. Expendable Goon, Black Manta's crew. When Black Manta Goon is KO'd by an opposing character, after resolutions, you may roll a d6 on a 1 to 3, generate a water terrain marker in the square Black Manta Goon last occupied. The polar bear created an ice terrain marker, or, so this one's water. Here we go. We've got 4 to 6. Generate a character with an expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent. This is really cool. This is really cool. If you've ever played, video games like Arkham, like the Arkham series or something, it just seems like these goons come out of everywhere. And each of the villains in Arkham had like their own, group of goons. And they just seem to keep coming. And that is so cool that they're doing this for like our mainstream DC villains. I mean, you always see Black Manta always has a crew with him, and this is so cool that you can rock Black Manta. You can do very story-specific stuff if you want to do Black Manta and a bunch of goons against Aquaman and Aqualad and Mera or something like that. I mean, that would be a lot of fun. It seems like these goons just keep on coming. That is such a cool mechanic. I'm super stoked about that. Okay, Accordion Thunderer. So you might remember the Accordion Thunderers from Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Animonitor, all of that stuff. You might, if you're more of a comic reader who picked up DC in the last 15 or so years, know them from the Sinestro Corps. They're the ones that help forge all of the Sinestro Corps rings. They are partners. The Accordions, the home world is actually where a lot of the Yellow Lantern stuff exists. Sinestro Corps, Herald, and Warrior, set number 17, Expendable Goon. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Sinestro's Weaponeers. This is so cool. So when Accordion Thunderer is KO'd by an opposing character, after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, generate a standard object in the square Accordion Thunderer last occupied. So now their ability to forge things and create things leave object tokens on the board. That is so cool. Generate a character with an expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent to a friendly character on a roll of 4 to 6. Look on the back there, you've got running shot, sidestep, pulse wave. I mean, geez Louise, these guys are kind of scary. I mean, 50 points, still pretty steep, but if you look on the front, running shot, pulse wave, energy shield deflection, perplex, you're not getting nothing. The fact that they can spawn or continuously spawn, and they've got sidestep on the 15-point line with a little bit of willpower. Man, that is awesome, man. They've got shape change. I mean, why not take a shot at a couple of these 15-point guys? And you can just spawn more of them on the board. This is so cool. So we've seen a Black Manta goon. We've seen a regular goon. We've seen a Accordion Thunderer, who are Sinestro's goons. We've seen polar bears for Mr. Freeze. Okay, this is awesome. Usually when you see a bunch of generics, I love generics. I love getting generic figures. But usually you see them in a set that's much smaller and you're like, oh, I wish I could have had maybe another big name, maybe another hero or villain in that spot. But instead, this set is expanded. So you're going to get, I think, all of those heroes, all of those villains. No heroes in this set. You're going to get all those villains, though, and they're going to be able to take advantage of having these goons. I think this mechanic's awesome. I'm super stoked. Summer Freeze. Okay, here we go. Sinestro, and I got to tell you guys, this is a goofy-looking Sinestro. Sinestro has played such a big part in so many storylines, not just Green Lantern-centric stuff, big Justice League storylines, big, wide DC storylines. He was the first person to harness the power battery of the Entity, the White Lantern, the first White Lantern we saw in Blackest Night. So let's see here. I mean, he's got a whole war named after him. But this looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, Super Friends to me. And Justice League, Legion of Doom. Yep. Secret Society of Supervillains, Sinestro Corps, Herald, and Ruler. Leading by fear. Leadership. Friendly characters with the Sinestro Corps keyword have in Justice League team ability. Okay. The yellow ring. Perplex, but only to negatively modify combat values. When a friendly character with Injustice League attacks an opposing character that has a negatively modified combat value, their attack rolls of 10 and 11 are critical hits. Okay. So traded Perplex. 2 targets. Doesn't matter with the Perplex, but anytime you negatively perplex somebody down, all of a sudden 10s, 11s, and 12s are crit hits. Not bad. On the back here in Justice League, I'm so confused. I am so confused because you're talking about leading by fear. You're talking about these, the yellow ring and everything. I wonder if we're not going to get another version of Sinestro that is more like kind of modern day Sinestro Corps War kind of things. But we've got a lot of those Sinestros in the game already. It's pretty cool to get this Super Friends kind of Legion of Doom style. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're the ones that had like the skull ship in the swamp or something like that, right? I mean, and they all had these kind of silly costumes. We'll stay on the subject of lanterns. Sure, why not? Necron. One of the coolest scenes that involves Necron is when him and the Spectre, who I have sitting here next to me, actually. Look at this beauty on the table here with me. I mean, the Spectre. I mean, look at this thing. This is an actual HeroClix. If you're newer to the game, this is a HeroClix. It can be used in friendly games. But there's a battle between Necron and the Spectre basically tells Necron, you have been judged, and nothing happens. Because Necron, you find out in that moment, is not actually like a living being or a person who came to partner with the darkness. No, he is like the living embodiment of the darkness. He has 0 soul. He doesn't have a soul. There's nothing there to be judged. Incredible, incredible moment. Like the Spectre comes at him to judge him after the Spectre was already like being ripped in half by Black Lantern Ring and a Red Lantern, the rage, the death of it all. He had this huge battle. Adam saves him. And then the Spectre turns on Necron. And you're thinking like, this is gonna go down. And he just turns into mist. And Necron just dismisses him. Such a cool moment. Anyway, all right, Necron. Black Lantern Corps, deity, herald, monster. So the first time we got Necron in HeroClix, he was much larger than this. I like that we're getting him And just a rare slot. He's not even a super rare. This is really cool. Everybody's going to have a chance to get a hold of this Necron. Really awesome. Rise. Oh, yes. Oh, man. When the Black Lantern rings, when they find a deceased, hero or somebody that had a connection to the spectrum of light in the Lantern world, it would tell that corpse to rise. Free. Generate a grave-hindering terrain marker within range and line of fire. Okay, 7 range. Wow. Friendly characters with the Black Lantern Core keyword occupying or adjacent to any friendly grave terrain markers may heal past their starting lines if healed by a character with the Black Lantern Core keyword. Okay, he's got 3 starting points, 125, 75, and 40. You are friendly to yourself. I mean, if you start the game at 75, you can heal past that line. If you start at 40, you can heal past that line by using these grave markers. The second trait on the back, and Devour. Steal energy, but may use it with close or ranged attacks. 7 range on this bad boy. Stealing energy from 7 squares away, especially on the new 2x2 map, rules that are coming. So he's got pretty great reach. When an opposing character is KO'd after resolutions, heal a friendly character with the Black Lantern Core keyword 2 clicks. Has Cosmic Energy as the team ability, so Safeguard Outwit. Has willpower naturally, constantly going to be pulling tokens off of himself. Can't outwit him. And holy heck, yeah. A lot of ways to heal. I think we're going to get a lot more Black Lantern Core in this set than I was expecting. We've got that little Superman poking up on the top of the boosters that I was like, oh, look at this. You got Black Hand on the side of the box. But I didn't expect the big bad Necron to be here. And for all these grave, it seems to me like we're going to have some interconnectivity with these grave hindering terrain markers. That is pretty great. This Necron is awesome. With the ability to heal past their starting lines and everything. Wow, yeah, may heal past their starting lines. So you can just start this guy at 40 and start healing all the way up if you wanted to. If you could pull it off. But wow, that's pretty impressive. That Necron is awesome. Maybe my favorite thing that I've seen in this set so far, outside of the Polar Bear, of course. All right, let's take a look at Kite Man. And, okay. Kite, I love that, there's a villain out there who fights with kite-based technologies. It's just so fun to me. Kite Man, Arkham Asylum, Gotham City, Underworld. Okay, we've only seen Kite Man once before, so it's always great to get a character that we've never really had. He's not a brand new character, but only having him once before is huge to see him again. I got ya. Other friendly characters with the Gotham City Underworld keyword within 4 squares can use Mastermind, but only to choose Kite Man, regardless of adjacency. When they do after resolutions, place them adjacent to Kite Man. That's a pretty cool way. He's 8 clicks long, so pretty solid Mastermind fodder there. I love that he's going and picking up the other big rogues in Batman's Rogues Gallery. He's taking damage for them and scooping them out of combat. That's great. On the back, kites are pretty crucial. It's another trait. Other friendly characters that share a keyword with Kite Man have the flight symbol if they are outdoors. Hell yeah is a special movement power charge. When Kite Man uses it and moves in a direct path, modify his attack and damage by +1 for every 2 squares moved through. This counts both the square he starts in and ends in. Wow. When Kite Man moves in a direct path, his attack and damage. So look at the front again. If you use this at the very top, moving through 5 squares, that's crazy. He could really pump up, you can get up to a 12-4, I think. Am I doing the math right there, guys? Tell me in the comments below. 12-4, I believe. Yeah? Boom. Not too bad for Kite Man. On the back, one of my favorite things about Kite Man is Charlie Brown, everybody's always pulling the football out of under him and everything. He's a joke kind of to everyone around him. I love that Chuck Brown is his name. And Harley Quinn, the animated series, season 2, episode 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think he is voiced by Matt Oberg, who I think I ran into Matt not too long ago. Shout out to Matt Oberg. He was on Heart of Dixie with me. He played a character named Scooter McGreevy, which if the name Scooter McGreevy doesn't cause you to go, oh, I hate that guy. I don't know, man. He played a character named Scooter McGreevy on Heart of Dixie, and I remember hearing, I saw him at a voiceover session. He had booked Kite Man. I think he is the voice of Kite Man. And from what I hear, he's kind of like a fan favorite. I don't know, like I think him and Ivy are together, something like that. Anyway, man, more Harley and the animated series characters than I ever expected. I was looking at the outside of the box going, what are the sub-themes going to be? You know, like what villainous storylines are we going to pull from? That's why I read, you know, during Villains United, I went and read the Secret Six, because I was like, that's a cool villain team. That's kind of like maybe heroes, maybe villains, not quite, like they're not great people, you know, maybe Suicide Squad kind of esque stuff. So I was just reading, you know, smattering of things. I didn't expect Harley Quinn, the animated series, to be such a big part of this set. But like I said, a lot of fans out there, I know that 100%. A lot of people out there are very, very happy. So every day we do a little bonus thing, right? So those are our 2 boosters for the day. Today, we are going to take a look at actually the Poison Ivy Play at Home kit. Now, everybody out there can pre-order this. You can buy this right off the shelf. And man, these are pretty dang good deals. You usually get a figure, you get a map, you get some other stuff. Let's read the back here. Capture a notorious villain of your own in the latest Play at Home kit release. Play at Home kits are a great way for players to get an awesome new character and map to match the DC HeroClix Notorious set. Tangle your opponents in Poison Ivy's vines and control the battlefield with unique terrain. Now, what happens usually, or as of late, these Play at Home kits are like very specific versions of a character, a little bit like off versions, you know? Maybe it's a character like Poison Ivy, but not from a storyline you're expecting or something. So I'm very excited to kind of see where this Poison Ivy is actually from. Okay, the sculpt we saw yesterday, I think it's the same sculpt as the Poison Ivy that we pulled out of the boosters, but I still will show you a close-up of her now as I start to open up everything else. We've got in here a map. We've got in here the character card and a bonus legacy card, which I'll show you in just a sec. Maybe I won't show you. Maybe I'll just tell you. Oh my gosh. Okay, I knew he was going to be legacied, but I didn't know it came in this. Okay. All right. So there we go. Let's take a look at her card real quick. Amazon, Arkham Asylum, Gotham City, Underworld, and Armor and Scientist keyword, set number 99. We both have our ropes to use. At the beginning of the game, if you weren't the first player, give Poison Ivy a Gaia's Armor token. Oh, that's rad. Free. Generate a plant hindering terrain marker. This game, those markers have, when this marker hinders line of fire, characters instead modify defense by +2. She is 9 clicks long. At 100 points, 9 clicks long. 6 clicks long at 60 points. You could play her at 2 different starting lines. Trait, my mother always dresses me for battle. Free. Remove 2 plant hindering terrain markers within range from the map. If you do, give Poison Ivy a Gaia's Armor token. If Poison Ivy has a Gaia's Armor token, she can use Energy Shield Deflection, Impervious, and Flight. When Poison Ivy takes damage after resolutions, remove all her Gaia's Armor tokens. Tear this mountain down. Quake. When Poison Ivy uses it, you may remove one of Gaia's Armor tokens. If you do, instead target all opposing characters within 6 squares regardless of adjacency. Wow, she has Batman enemy and Wonder Woman ally. Yes, this storyline was so cool. It says Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman. It says number 12. I thought it was later in the run than that. Maybe I am mistaken. That being said, this particular Poison Ivy that we have here is awesome. So this storyline, this Gaia's Armor thing, so Sensation Comics, Gail Simone started writing this Wonder Woman storyline, and it was a lot of really fun, like kind of like 2-issue mystery team-up kind of stories. This one in particular, Gaia's son, the Titan Typhon, is breaking loose from his chains. He's threatening to destroy the planet. There's like a giant volcano mountain thing that he's going to break free from. And Poison Ivy is called to Themyscira. And everyone's like, we have an intruder on the island. They go to attack Poison Ivy. She hangs them all up. She says those words, we both have our ropes to use, in reference to Wonder Woman's lasso, of course. And the two of them fight to a standstill. And then Wonder Woman's like, why are you here? She said, because my mother called me, Gaia, right? But then they go to this armory, and they're like, you need to be equipped for this battle. Typhon will kill or obliterate anyone in his path. You need to be equipped. And she says, I am not worried. My mother always equips me. And she comes out in this like crazy, like wooden armor getup. Like she's like 3 feet taller than she normally is. She's covered in bark and all these things. She has like a club arm, and like Gaia basically like gives her like this crazy like armor made out of trees, which is so cool. Which I would love to have seen. I mean, this sculpt is still incredible, but it would have been really cool to kind of see her in that full Gaia armor getup. But that is so cool. This is a really, really neat Poison Ivy that you can get here. Let's see. What are the maps? Harley's Rooftop Outdoor, and the other side is Atlantis Throne Room Outdoor. So 2x2 maps, much easier to show on screen here. Those are the two maps. I'm sure they have images of these things online. Remember, this is all part of the Play at Home kit. And then we have a legacy card. And the legacy card that we have is from Superman Wonder Woman set, which, if you remember, has Colossals in it. And it has one Colossal in particular, Brimstone. Boom. Brimstone is getting a legacy card here. I don't think that we can zoom in because Brimstone's just too darn big. But what I can do is throw his sculpt up onto this camera. See? Oh, whew, it's struggling. It's so funny. He's so big. Oh, man. Here, I'll hold him up. Maybe we can get a better look at him. If you haven't been collecting long enough to have collected the Superman Wonder Woman set, this sculpt is just incredible. So glad to be seeing Brimstone get a legacy card. So if you have the means, go and grab him. The legacy card comes as a part of the Play at Home kit. We're not going to show you what the changes are. We're going to let those spoilers rest. So I'm not going to show you everything. But I can tell you he's got Colossal Retaliation, Flames of Apocalypse, Plasma Core, Intensely Radioactive. These are all special powers and changes to his dial. So yeah, I mean, if you want a 19-click long beat stick, a legacy card for it, you can pick that up as part of the Play at Home kit. So that is going to do it for today's unboxing. Tomorrow, we're going to be back for 2 more boosters, and we're going to look at the OP kit for the opening day of this set, and that's going to deal with the Riddler. We're going to look at that tomorrow. We still have legacy cards to come this week, and hint cards. I decided to this week push all the hint cards to the very end of the week because there's been a set list in them lately, and I don't want to be spoiled as I'm going through the unboxing series, but I figured at the very end, I will show the set list card to everybody. If you want to be spoiled on everything that's going to be in the set, you could take a peek at it that day. I like to stay spoiler-free as much as I can, so I will give out tons of spoiler warnings before I show the set list, but I figured I'd do that on the last day. We still have 6 more boosters to go, 3 more days to go. Can't wait to see what we pull. We've already gotten 3 super rares. I don't know that we're going to get any more. Love to see some more prime clues. Who else are we going to get as primes? We've only seen one in King Shark. I imagine that in an 80-figure plus set, maybe we'll have more than the regular 4 primes. Maybe we can get a bigger number of primes. We already have a massive number of super rares in 19. So remember, the set officially drops on September the 20th. When pre-release happens 2 weeks before that on September the 6th. Thank you to WizKids so much for sending me this set to share with you guys, especially this early. Like I said, Christmas in July. I'm actually filming this on June 30th. But yeah, basically Christmas in July happening for me right now, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Thank you to Hyper RPG Studios for having us here. Follow them on Twitch, find them on YouTube to see anything pop culture, video games, tabletop games. They do it all, and they're so awesome. I want to say thank you to you guys for watching. Again, this set is massive. It covers so much ground for all the villains, and the fact that we're getting this DC goodness in the middle of the year just makes me so incredibly happy. I'll see you tomorrow for more DC villainous goodness, but until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits. Peace.